Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel Aniket Khaire SDET. So this document is a curated collection of API testing concepts and interview questions designed for SDET and QA engineers preparing for product-based company interviews. Unlike service-based project discussion that often focuses on tool execution, product-based companies evaluate candidate on system behavior, API testing decisions, API design decisions, failure handling, scalability, and real production scenarios. The questions and explanations in these documents are framed from a product mindset, emphasizing why APIs behave a certain way, how they fail in real systems, and how engineers are expected to reason about them during the interviews. So let's get started. Yeah, welcome to the channel. API testing interview question and cheat sheet. Yeah, here we go. What is an API? API stands for Application Programming Interface. An interface can be thought as a contract between two applications that defines how they communicate through requests and responses. API documentation specifies the structure, format, and expectation for those requests and responses. So this is an API. Now you heard the term contract over here, right? So what is contract testing? Contract testing as a document between the front-end guys or the consumer or the producer. What is decided? The endpoint, the URL path, the HTTP method, the request header, query params, request body structure, the response in format like XML or JSON, mandatory versus optional field, what are the field names which will be going to be there, data types like number, string, array, objects that can be there, error codes in body of response like error code and messages. This can be termed by the backend guys, right? So they will be having a service and they will be having some constants. So they will be reusing that. Status code basically our HTTP status code, that is 2xx, 4xx or 5xx, that can be there. Now to show you how does a contract look like, right? So this is an Unicommerce API. So this is the get orders which we have taken. So as you can see over here, this is a page number, that is type of string, and the mandatory is yes or no. So if I go to post order, right, if you check the details, so as you can see, order fulfillment priority, that is integer. As you can see, it is not mandatory. That means it's no over here. So this is can be think of a contract over here. Basically, this will how does a contract will look like. Coming to the next questions, what are the main things you validate in the response of an API? Okay, so this is one of the loved interview questions from the interviewers, right? So first thing is you will validate the response code. So you just validate whether it is 200, 300, 400 or 500. That you need to do. The response, check whether the response adheres to the contract. Basically the contract is given, right? So we should validate it against the contract. So if this is a contract, I will validate my things, you can say, validate the API response to this contract. Like the order should be a string, the display order ID should be ABCDE, priority should be integer, so default is 0. The time and date, that should be validated. So we should validate the response to this. Validate the schema. So as you can see, right, the schema here, if I'm passing, take an example for this API, a get authentication API. Okay, so it is returning my status code of success over here, and SX token is a string over here. What if the SS token becomes a number over here, right? So it will fail, right? The API request will fail and it won't be of usable, it won't be used, right? So this, right, we need to validate the schema as well. A question will be there into the doc which is present below, so we can have that look at over there. Database validations, whether we are creating a post or put request, we will check whether the DBA has been updated or not. So the record is updated not onto the DB. If you are doing a delete request, right, so the record should be getting deleted from the DB. So that we need to do. Check the authentication. Basically there will be like bearer token, OAuth will be there, some basic username or password, you need to log in and then create a token. So we just need to check that. Do non-functional testing like a security or perf, you can do that. So that are the things we can validate in the response of an API. Perf, basically you just need to handle the 429 requests like status code, too many requests that we need to validate.